You gotta start the show.
Okay, I have to introduce the whole thing now. This is Grindstone.
I used to date a chick who could speed read. It was rather amazing. We would be somewhere and I might have even discussed this before. I never know. Sometimes the reason why I say, I might have discussed this before and I might have is because there will be instances in which I'm the same person and then something will just sweep across my mind. We would go places. I mean, I can't even say obviously, but I'm going to go ahead for this sake of this matter. Obviously, she was intelligent. So we would go do intelligent activities. And say if it's an art gallery, you got the placard up there, and she would glance at the joint. I mean, a glance. Like it would be like a glance and a slight zone out. Now, the thing might be a foot or two long vertically. I don't know what the font is, but it was a whole placard. She would glance at it and then walk to the next thing. And I was like, you didn't read that. And she was like, they were born here. And then this was the inspiration to that. And then they did that at this time. And then they went to that school. And I would be sitting there reading the thing, like really looking at the thing. And it would take me 5 times longer, even more than that, to digest however she took the picture in her mind and flipped the pages and read that thing in her mind. It just didn't work like that for me. And I found that to be a fairly amazing feat of the human brain to be able to take the same amount of time and break it down like that. Right. And so you never know. I say all that to say, like, people think so differently in so many different instances that you would never imagine, that our communication has to come out in several different ways and it has to come out authentically, because it will allow people to adapt to learn a new language that we're able to intake and at the speed with which we're willing to intake it. Like, who would ever thought that song is one of the best ways to get people to remember stuff? I wouldn't have. But usually a melody will bring a message across, right? For instance, the wheels on the bus go round and round, round and round, round and round. Now, I don't know how that song finishes. I don't even know the bridge. But if you know that that's a bus and those are wheels, then eventually you're going to learn what round is. And you'll be able to move that on to physics. Because you'll be like, if I do something round, it will get something from one distance to another. You'd be surprised how melody brings message. But that's neither here nor there. What is here is the fact that she could speed read and it was amazing. And I just saw something with Cam Newton that says he has to read out loud. Okay. I don't have to read out loud, but sometimes I might read out loud if it's confusing. Like, say if I'm trying to put something together and these are the instructions. But if I'm reading a book, I'm not reading out loud. So, he framed it as a strength and as him knowing him and how he has to read. But I was just like, yeah, they at Auburn, I guess they wasn't teaching people how to read. If you're reading out loud as a grown person, you kind of don't know how to read, right? Hey, but shit, different strokes for different folks. And you are here with me right now on Sorry for My Language. It's the Jerry Rice. It's the dawning of a new era. It's episode 80, baby. Yeah. Yes, episode 80 right here with me on Sorry for My Language. And this is my show. I'm Grindstone. This is my lifestyle philosophy, my culture, and music show. All three things going to take place at any given time. And the standard is the standard. I'm not going to talk about really like the pop news. This ain't the celebrity dish or yesterday's fish. So this is Thursday, October 16th. Man, let me tell you what it is. October 16th, 2025. Do y'all know what October 16th means? A brand new day, a brand new way. October 16th, every single year commemorates yet another year that we could celebrate the anniversary of the Million Man March. The Million Man March.
The Million Man March.
Ooh, I'm hitting switches. So October 16th, 1995 was the Million Man March in Washington, D.C. It was a day in which over 1 million Black people descended upon Washington, D.C. on the National Mall between the Capitol of the United States and the Washington Monument, and actually spread throughout the city very peacefully to show Black unity. It was a day in which the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and many others, I can't remember who spoke that day. I actually have the newspaper, the Washington Post from that day. I was looking for it because I wanted to like pop it open and just read it. I wanted to see what else was going on at this magical day in history, but I couldn't find it. I have it somewhere though. But it was a day in which if you never believed in the power of unity, and if you never believed in the power of common thought used for you and not against you, the Million Man March, October 16, 1995, was the day in which you would have gained perspective. So when people are talking about unity, when people are talking about civility, when people are talking about constructive thought, that and transgenerational thought and gatherings, that is a day where you would have, for sure, got a foothold on what we chatting about. You know? And in addition to what happened that day, you had Black people from everywhere decided, I ain't going to work. I ain't going to work today. And I thought that was magical because just like Mexicans, Black people make so many, well, not just Mexicans, just like Hispanic and Latino people make things go round in this country. If all of those people decide to say, today, I'm not doing it, it would be a stutter step in the way America runs itself. And it's not as many of them by far, but on Yom Kippur and Rosh Hashanah, Jewish people take off to do something constructive. They don't work. They don't do shit. I don't know if what I do know they do, they get together and they have constructive conversation. They have constructive fellowship, and they get together amongst themselves and they do them. The world has to operate without them on those days. It's hardly anybody else who does that. But we witnessed what that was like as an African-American race in this country, in America, on October 16, 1995. And I was there. No matter how history tries to minimize it, they can only do that to and for the people who were not there. So I just want us to take our dates, our times, our history, our purveyors of history to know, or to be the ones that we hold in importance when we want to know the truth. So October 16th in D.C., shout out. Ain't gonna ever forget you, baby. That was a hell of a day. Man, So this episode of Sorry for My Language is brought to you by Grindstone Universal. Let me see if I can show you something. Hold up. The sweatshirt I'm wearing is a Grindstone Universal stitchamication.
I made a decision. Enough is enough. It's showtime.
Try to just show you the goods. Go to grindstoneuniversal.com and get yours. Get fresh. Stay fresh with me. I have been rocking this brand and creating this brand and serving the public for many, many moons, many, many sunrises. And yeah, man, it's the shit. It's what I do.
Debo rap over emo rap. I run these guppy niggas, dude. They comfort food. I snack on Florida Ave and eat a meal in Miami. You're everywhere. Touching souls from kids to grannies. I'm on 580, Georgia Ave, MLK, Route 50, Chesapeake, South Street. I'm up in New York City.
Put your antennas on grindstoneuniversal.com and watch me do my thing. So this morning I did a thing. Shout out to doing a thing. Yeah, clap it up for doing the thing in the morning time. Okay, so now I don't want to mess up her name, but I went to a museum this morning and hold up, let me make sure I get her name correct. Yes. So I went to a museum exhibit today at the National Museum of, I'm going to say Women's History. Could have been Women's Arts and History, but it's the National Museum downtown right on New York Avenue in D.C. That was the very first time I had been to this museum, right? And boy, was it a wonder. Oh my gosh. I think this is a privately owned museum because all the museums in D.C. are free. This one you had to pay for. And I'm not sure if you had to pay to be in the whole museum or just pay to see this exhibit. I know so little. I'm so undermined by my ignorance. But anyway, I saw psych. Now, that's true and false. But anyway, there is an exhibit there. So if you're anywhere close to this date, that joint might be there till March. I think it goes till March 8th. I could be wrong, but I'm in the ballpark. So there's a exhibit there by an artist named Tawny Chapman. Tawny Chapman. And it's called Sanctuaries of Truth and Disillusion of Lies. So I decided that I'm gonna start doing shit I want to do. You know? I'm gonna start doing shit that grows me. I was recently, as of this summer, and before this, but it got really intense this summer. I really got sick of doing destructive activities. Whenever I gathered with people, I started to notice that nothing productive. I have to recover from being with people I fuck with. You know, so it would be like, man, we kicked it this today. Now I gotta go drink a gallon of water and get some rest. And man, this week I gotta go get my money right because I blew it all with y'all. Or whatever it was like my social activities weren't building. You know, it was more like, or at least I noticed it. Not like I was sliding downhill this summer, but I started to notice how gatherings were occurring. And gatherings started to occur more and more wasteful and destructive and going in the opposite direction of the motherfucking spot I wanted to land in. So I was just like, damn, shit. Is this what growing up is about? Is this when you start seeing yourself? Is this when you start realizing like that you could be doing better and then you start assigning yourself that you should be doing better?
Is this what responsibility looks like?
I mean, I didn't know I was there. I didn't know I was ready for it. But yeah, I was just ready to step my shit up. So I go do things that I like. And one thing that I have found is if you have an idea for a nighttime activity, like something that you could do in the day, an evening activity that you have time for, that you could optionally do in the day, I like doing that shit before noon. It's just a thing. So today I went to a museum before noon. Got there for the 10 o'clock. Got the 10 o'clock ticket. You feel me? So Tawny Chapman, Sanctuaries of Truth, Disillusion of Lies. That was the name of the joint, right? And she is I'm not sure what part of the country she's from, but she's a very original artist. She has a signature style. And as an artist myself, once again, you can find the art at grindstoneuniversal.com. I ain't playing with y'all. I ain't joking with y'all. Log on my online. All the artists find. Oh yeah. Why would I lie to you? It's a wrap. So fine art is my shit. I like when people get busy. And within that realm, there's not a lot of room for laziness that a artist is going to overlook. I really appreciate art, but sometimes I'll glance at a picture, I'll look at it, I'll sit there in front of it, I'll give it its time. But then I'll look for the part where the artist got lazy. And that's the part where I'm like, how much you charging for that? Like for real? But I can't say this about Tawny Chapman. So to make a long story short, because you should go see it yourself, you should go read up on Tawny Chapman. Her art it features Black people, mainly members of her family and friend group. And it'll be a photograph that's treated with, just something to fit the picture. But then she has different sections. So some of it's tricked out with embroidery on the damn picture. That's like, I think it might be on a canvas or a fabric, but it's embroidered around the damn picture, which is a really fly use of embroidery. There are, it recontextualizes some old tropes that people might have had about Black figures and culture. So it makes people look royal. Not exactly Kende Wiley style, is his name Kende Wiley? Kende Wild, but not exactly his style, but not even his style at all, but kind of in the same way where you take something that was looked upon as regular and then you make it grand. And so she used to use, but in this exhibit, you'll see she used 24 karat gold leaf. Like she was just like real shiny, gilded is the word. Shiny fly looking shit around these Black figures. And it just like creates dresses, it creates jackets, it creates fringes on hats. And then on top of that, the other part of it is the frames that she used. She didn't just go down to Michael's. No. She went around the country and some to the antebellum South to find some of these frames that the actual pictures were framed in. And it's just really a lot of attention to detail. And I can appreciate that when you put it this way. In looking at her art, I was like, yeah, sis don't have a social life. Because this detail involved here, it will take all your time. But she's living her purpose. And shout out to somebody who's decided to live their purpose and share it, and it just brought me a lot of joy, a lot of enlightenment on what could possibly be done with art. So that's Tawny Chapman. And I just wanted to share that from my artist corner with my point of view. And in one of her pictures, I saw somebody I know from Hot Pilates class. And I'm looking at it like, I know her. I know this face. Like she has a very distinct look. This person does not look like other people I know. And I was just like, Man, I know her. Man, I hopped in the Hot Pilates group chat. Ding, 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 ding. Bingo, it was her. That's her family. So she's a whole portrait of her family in that joint. So I guess I was in the right place, right time, doing the right thing. And oh shit. Sometimes your alignment is your alignment. So anyway, Art did a lot, and I sat there and read the placards. Cam Newton. I didn't read them shits out loud either, Jack. But yeah, I got fully enlightened. So then outside of that, I went around to different parts of the museum, because it's a whole museum. This was on the 4th floor. And it was this one section where there was art from women from, I think, the year 1650 to the year 1750 or something like that time period. 1600 to 1650, 1650, 1750, something like that. But it was 16 to a 17th joint. Man, some of that shit was so good. I was like, damn, just think. Now, people are looking at pictures. People are enlarging shit. People are tracing shit. So, which is kind of why a lot of the microwave art of today, hey, look, I'd rather have you do that than climbing through somebody's window. I don't respect that shit. Y'all just a big cheat code, just trying to do something. Then you put some shit in AI, and then you be like, AI did it, but then it was my idea. Fuck that. That shit ain't it. So imagine being in the year 1680, and you painted some shit that is hyper realistic. Yeah, so imagine it being 1660 or something like that. And then you're doing a painting and it looks like the Adobe Photoshop box or the Adobe Illustrator box with just that much detail, that much attention to lighting. And it's an oil painting that totally preserved the look, the integrity, and everything you need out of that art piece. So I was looking at some of that stuff like, man, goodness gracious, the hand skill. Yeah, that's where I'm giving it. That's where I'm giving artists their props. And it was just several pictures from way back. So let me know. I got to get on my oil game. My oil game went soft. People got strong skill games, and that's some shit that I'm gonna be loving on your strong skill game. Not this, I hopped in, I pressed a couple buttons, and some shit came up, and it's on my page. Like, fuck all that, man. Honestly, To be honest, your mediocrity exhausts me. I'm just being honest. Your mediocrity exhausts me. There's a part of general mediocrity that has become totally acceptable. And I think I speak for many when I say that. Whether it's in your art, whether it's just in your general way that you handle your life, handle your friendships, handle your family obligations, handle just what you're supposed to be handling. Your edges, the edges in the details of your life. Your mediocrity exhausts me. I'll let you deal with that one. So, I mean, in that vein, think about it. Your life is your platform, right? We've allowed social media to become our platform, but your life is your platform. How do you use that life? I mean, when I woke up this morning, I had a beautiful wake up. Oh my goodness gracious. Goodness gracious alive. When I woke up this morning, I woke up with such clarity. And I think it's because it's tea I've been drinking. I don't know if y'all be drinking natural teas, but I've been drinking some tea. And I should have been getting me together. But I woke up, and sleep for me is such another world. I pop back into this world like, oh shit, I got the benefit of two worlds. You know, but I popped back into this joint, and I was very clear about the fact that I don't enjoy chasing money. I damn near detest chasing money. I don't fuck with it. Fuck chasing money. I ain't chasing money. How about that? But I like having money. I said. But I like having money. So now we got to figure that out, right? Ain't too much figuring out to do. I am the magnet. Don't let that go over your bald head. I am the magnet. I don't like chasing money. I wasn't born to do that shit. Chase money. The fuck for? I ain't doing that. I ain't doing that. Have money? Oh, for sure. Have access? Oh, for sure. Having it how I want it? Oh, for sure. Oh, for sure. I am the magnet. And that was such a clear move in my mind, in my perspective, that came and tackled me up off my pillow today. That I was thinking about a lot of things that people do with their platform, and their mediocrity exhausts me. So let's look at it like this. I'm not dropping any names unless I feel like it. Fat Joe, Cardi B, Nori. We all know that they are proud captains, leaders, queens, king of their heritage, whether that's Dominican, Puerto Rican, the Bronx, Spanish Harlem, for Nori LaFrac. But we all know that we don't deal with those people without dealing with the Spanish part of who they are, with the Puerto Rican, Dominican parts of who they are, with that heritage. We don't deal with them without that, right? Okay. Enough of them. There are also several other people who, when you either say their name, when you look at them, when you hear them talk, when you peep their family, when you see them on the appropriate holidays, you see how they represent Hispanic, Latino, Latinx culture. I'm only saying these people who I've mentioned so far and these types of people because they're the people who do all they can do to grab our attention and to make them pay attention to us or to make us pay attention to them, right? They do a lot so we can pay attention. They've been successful at grabbing our attention. Shout out to them. Now that you have our attention, now that we see your run-ins with affluence, now that we experience your influence, now that you become a quasi-leader, we know how they're street sweeping. We know how they are mistreating a lot of people. We know that they are being protected by the U.S. government because they're the only enforcement agency that's been allowed to wear masks so then people don't find out who they are. They're not held responsible for their actions, so they're acting incredibly irresponsibly when it comes to somebody's humanity. Why don't these Spanish, Hispanic, Latino X influencing celebrities and influencers and people of high standard, why don't they use that same platform that they use to grab all of our attention, that they live to get our attention? Why don't they use that same shit to speak about ICE? Let me get this straight. You want us to hear this album where you talk about European things? You want us to watch this podcast where you talk about American money, chasing money? You want us to aspire to a certain standard of living? You want us to watch you argue with people, argue about people, be a boss bitch, be a badass, whatever. Watch you celebrate dumb shit, watch you laugh and giggle, but you grasp our attention and you're not gonna defend us now. So you're gonna bring us to this part, and when I say us, I'm more talking about ustedes, right? Because I'm not getting fucked over by ICE. Because I don't have no Spanish shit affiliated with me when it comes to my genetics, right? So these masked up niggas, they passing me, but they fucking with people I fuck with. And that's where it's not cool. So y'all did all that shit. You want them to wear your t-shirt. You want them to buy your concert. You want them to somehow be affiliated with your business causes and practices. You want them to double tap when they see a picture of your kids or some shit. But then you're not going to speak up for them. You're not going to speak out against the one who oppresses us. Your ass is still oppressed. You're oppressed just by virtue of you not being able to say shit about it. Or you not letting your nuts drop. Letting your egg drop. Letting your egg drop soup come to the forefront and say something? Call me confused. Allegedly, I am confused. But when you're excellent in business, or when you're obviously an outlier from your high school class, like if you line up everybody's picture who went to your high school, and this goes to anybody who falls under the category of which I was speaking, and then you flip through the high school yearbook, you're the one. You're the one. You're the one who they say, I went to school with them. You don't say, I went to school with that person, because we don't know them. You're the one. And out of all those people, you're still too chicken shit to use your voice because you're scared that some of that money is going to leave you. What kind of belt did daddy put to your ass? What kind of belt did white daddy put to your ass? Did he hold the money key above you and then say, if you say A, B, C, or D, I'm swallowing that bitch? I mean, what is it that keeps people pushing the line, doing all these interviews and articles, all these things where excellence and resilience and all that shit, number one, we the best type rhetoric is centered around it. But then they get quiet when it comes to using the same voice to speak to the same people who they've spoken to about some shit that might endanger them. They don't even do that shit. They do not speak up against motherfuckers who do wrong. Ain't that shit dishonest? At the very least. Isn't that shit dishonest? Like, it's kind of like if you got a friend and y'all two go somewhere as friends and then you eat some food and it was hot food. Your nose run a little bit. Y'all finish the food. You walk off in the crowd, they walk off in the crowd. Y'all together though. That hot food had your nose running, you got a booger in your nose. And that friend who you rolled in there with the whole damn day don't tell you you got a booger in your nose. And isn't that the same thing that ethnically Spanish-related, Latino-related people with influence are doing when they're not informing you about ICE or when they're not a voice for your collective's voice? The same people who get on this motherfucker every day and express their viewpoint about some shit, they fall silent. Isn't that like isn't that like failing to tell you you have a booger in your nose? Or you got food in your beard? Or you got lipstick on your teeth? Nah, because if I say something about that, the lipstick people gonna get mad. Shit, I ain't gonna tell my friend. I ain't gonna speak on my friend's behalf. That shit weak as fruit punch to me. I'm just saying. And it's shit like that over and over and over and over and over that happens that just makes me be able to look at shit and say, your mediocrity exhausts me. And I think that we need to become more resolute in where we stand. And we need to stop chasing the fucking money. We need to become the honeypot. The money will find us. We are magnets. I'm a magnet. Y'all need to find your magneticism. Is that a word?
Magnetism.
Sometimes you look for the word and you don't find it. But the word is magnetism. And you need to find your own magnetism so you stop doing all this clown ass shit. I mean, motherfuckers will do clown ass shit for money. People will literally, not even symbolically, literally jump through hoops for money. And jumping through hoops ain't their thing. But they'll do it if their business partner or their business alliance is like, hey, today, come out to the park and jump through the hoops for fun. Motherfucker will jump through some hoops. Who won't jump through hoops otherwise? A person will do all types of shit for somebody who was aligned with a person who invests money to negatively affect their own fucking people. And they'll show how that business relationship comes together, and they'll show the fruits of that business labor. and they'll show everything personal about themselves, but they will not ever speak on the fact that they are conscious about this is a thing happening to them, their people, against them, in their community, in their future. It's cowardice. And for people to be so excellent, for people to be that one in the yearbook who lived up to most likely to succeed, who lived up to whatever the fuck they lived up to in the imaginations of their ancestors' wildest dreams, for them to be the ones who decide to just be aware yet silent, I have one thing to say. You're bullshitting. Shout out to Ben and Jerry's. It's people like Ben and Jerry who be on their shit. And right now we're in a time. I'm not even really big on this ice thing, because I do have a couple people who got a little fucked over by ice. I do know a couple people who actually have to hide. I do know a couple people who left stateside and went to the country of their origin. And they might have fucked around and been here legally, but their workforce got diminished. I do know a couple people in a couple situations, but they're not like my everydays, so I don't think about it like that every day. But if I'm of Spanish heritage, or if I'm affluent enough to have people working, I got people of Spanish heritage working for me. That's just how this country is. For me to be silent, but yet to show you, for me to be vocal 6 days a week about whatever the fuck my movement is, selling music, selling records, selling something to your ass, influence, and then to not even take a seventh day to say some shit that is actually relevant to your life. It's blood clot pussy wall business. My appropriation for the day. But anyways, I just wanted to let you in on how I was feeling, man. I did something this morning that was great. I was inspired by the art. Y'all go see Tawny's exhibit at the Women's Museum in D.C. on New York Avenue, Northwest. And whatever you do, avoid mediocrity. Work for yourself as hard, at the very least, as hard as you work for others. And even if you don't have your own business, still do the things for yourself with the same vigor, if not more, than you do for those motherfuckers when you're chasing that money. Chase that gold. Chase it. Sorry for my language. Peace.